Welcome back. This is M-Dog. And if I don't start this video off with catching a fish, then this is one of those spots you may not get to see a fish. Looks like we've got a tench on. We're at 84-147. This has been an interesting last few days if you've been paying attention to carp fishing in RF4. Oh! Big tench. A lot of folks been going for rare carp last few days. You're probably aware of that if you pay attention to such things. If you haven't been paying attention, still a lot of carp to be had, and rare carp. There's been, so we're at 85, 147-ish, 35 meter clip, and I will kind of tell you here where I'm casting. I've got either one or two lines at the at the right side of peg 1, across that way, and then I've always got one or two lines cast here. Whichever spot seems to be getting more frequent bites, I move the middle line one way or the other. So right now the middle line is cast over here, so we've got two lines over here and one line here. I usually end up moving the middle line once or twice a day based on the activity where it seems like it's coming in. It's so slow in this spot that if there's a spot that seems to be hitting off a little more often, you want to at least move a second rod to that location. And in some cases, you may even want to put all three in that location. So let's talk about the rig, the baits we're using and everything. We actually have the exact same thing on all three lines. I am using 1/0 hooks, mostly just to try to weed out some of the smaller stuff, especially crucians. Considering we're using 20-gram bags of PVA, the less amount of crucians you end up with, you probably feel a little better about. But we're using 16 size pop-up cocoa boilies, cocoa and cream flavor white corn, cocoa's nectar, and then this is the PVA we're rolling with. I switch back and forth. Sometimes I have 20 or 22 size, whatever it is, boilies crushed up instead of the 16. But that's the only change. Pretty much it's the same every time. So those are the baits we're using. And again, 35 meter clip, 85, 147, 2 over here right now, 1 here. So the other thing is, well, let's look at our net here. Common carp, we've got a few commons. Crucians, only 3, right? But again, when you catch one of these, you're not excited about it with, using boilies, corn, and big PVA bags. We do have some frame-sided, just 1. I've kept everything, by the way. 3 grass carp, a couple of linears, 5 mirrors. So like we got an easy mirror carp order at the cafe. You'll get a few mirrors. Plenty of tench, looks like 7 total. And now let's go to the reason why we're here, which is the rare carp. First we'll look at the red Starvis carp mirror, which is the more rare of the 2 rare carp, at least for me in this spot. And then finally the common coast carp, which is the one that I'm catching more of. Quite a few of these, 9 of them. And at least in this setting, this time I've been here, the largest one has been 10. So, overall, we've been here over 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. Very slow fishing. And so if you weren't catching the rares, there's no chance you'd want to fish this spot right now, at least with this bait setup. But if you think about how much XP and silver you're getting for the rares, and the fact that it's just, it's not a super common thing to have spots like this where such good numbers of rares are coming out, right? And this isn't the only time that rare carp have been this active. There have been other times in the history of amber that many of you have probably experienced. One unfortunate thing I would say about the state of rare carp fishing at amber at the moment and this is not always the case, but it's the other carp, even like commons and mirrors and stuff, are also slow in this spot. So it is possible, and we've had times in the past where a high percentage of rares were coming out, but in the meantime, you're also catching a normal amount of more common carp. Not just common carp, but the more regular species of carp. So that puts a little bit of a downer about this and other spots at the moment at Amber where you're going for rare carp. However, I would also say, based on people in my Discord, people on VK, and other Discords, it does seem like maybe there's a higher chance than usual for trophy rare carp. I have not had one yet, but some people have had multiples. So, in some ways, these rare spots right now, these rare carp spots, are slower than usual for a rare carp spot, but in some ways they might be better if in fact you do have a better chance of getting a trophy. Which again, I can't say that for sure, but based on other people's experiences, that may be the case. So, if you want to turn this spot into 43 fish in 2 hours and 40 minutes, if you want to change that to about 12 to 15 fish in 2 hours and 40 minutes, so much slower bite rate, then instead of the 16 size cocoa boilies, you switch to the 22s. Still catch rares, still catch pretty much the same stuff I'm catching now, but you catch a lot less of them. But you could argue with larger boilies, perhaps you have a better chance of catching the big ones. So it just depends on if you're AFK fishing or if you're playing something else, you're watching something that you're really into. It may be even worth trying that. This is my favorite spot right now for rares. There are plenty of spots that you can fish for rares at the moment at Amber. This one, which is across from Peg 1 here in E4. Peg 1 itself, casting 35 just into the 2 meter hole, sort of around here, is also a good spot for rares right now. Down here in E8, casting west to northwest. Rares are coming out there. I'm seeing people that are still catching rares over at 169 at the tree. However, and I haven't done a lot of it this week. If you watched my streams this week, we dabbled a little bit here and there. I've tested the different spots at least briefly. For me, at least, I've felt the best about this one. So I've probably spent more time here than any of the other spots. But other folks have had their favorite experiences this week, may have been at some of those other spots or even other ones. According to what baits you're using, it seems like in a lot of places right now at Amber, rare carp are fairly available. We actually are going to catch a fish, unless it pops off, during the making of this video. Could it be a rare? Of course not. It's just a mirror. Just a common mirror carp. Or is that linear? I believe that's mirror. I'm not sure though. Yeah, it's just mirror, right? So there's another mirror. It's nighttime. That makes sense that a mirror would come out. Too bad it wasn't a rare mirror. All right, so let's do this. I've showed you everything we're doing here. We're actually almost out of PVA, so we'll make some new just in case you didn't catch all the ingredients. We're going to put the bigger boilie size in this batch. Then we go to dry mix, make sure it has the right name, add the boilies, and we mix it up. So we've got 12s, 5s, 7s, coconut cream, go. 10 out of 10. Not quite. Wait, that was unsuccessful, but we kept the dry mix? Is that normal? Okay, I'll take it. I thought it used up your dry mix. Maybe not. Maybe it just uses up your net. If you successfully made the dry mix, it stays. I don't know. Okay, so no more fish on currently. Let's do this. Might as well give you a silver amount for just over 2.5 hours of fishing. Again, I don't think you're doing this for silver. If you're just in need of silver because you're trying to save up for, you know, whatever, your last Vinga or a nice ultralight setup or whatever, there's probably places to fish right now that you could do a little better silver. But if you really enjoy carp fishing and you want a chance at one of the bigger sizes of the rare carp, especially those 2 species that we're catching, that's where it's worth doing this. We'll double check the cafe, but I don't think there's any new mirror or common orders or anything like that. It hasn't been that long since I was over here. That's funny. If we sit here long enough, we might get that order. Let's hope not. Let's be optimistic and say we hope not. All right. 717 silver. It's not the worst, certainly not the best. Of course, if you hit it big with a trophy, it's going to turn into the best, or at least really good. But you see, if you sort it by price, you did have that trophy tinge, but for the most part, you see all the rares rise to the top. Even the small ones. Even the small ones are worth good silver, and they're coming out enough that it's not like you can't make any silver. You're not totally wasting time in terms of silver. But, like I said, there's probably ways you could be, if your focus right now is saving for something, and that's your main motivation, then this is probably not the spot, but it is fun. Again, I would say, you know, I've been having fun, but I've also been like hanging out with family, watching baseball with family, talking, and so it's been just about perfect for that. If you're really like just want to fish, it's a little slow. It's a little slow just to be staring at the rods. It's 4:13 in the morning. If there's not a fish on now, we'll give it another couple minutes. Oh, maybe we're getting a nibble. Or is it already on there? Yeah, we're getting a nibble. So we'll at least see one more fish before I wrap it up. I knew we weren't going to get a lot of fishing done in this video because I wasn't going to make a long one. And it's just so slow. I mean, I feel fortunate that we've caught, well, this will be our 3rd fish. That's pretty good. So for going for, we'll probably end up at a total of about 15, 16 minutes on this video. To have 3 fish, that's pretty good for this spot. So we'll take it. Let's just hope this one's a rare. That would be really nice. That would be really nice. And we'll have to see how, sort of after I finish recording this, we'll see how the rest of this day goes. I may move that middle rod back over to the right now. I think it spent the whole last 24 hours to the left because I was catching a little bit better over here. But plenty of fish have been coming in on this right side too. Just kind of goes back and forth. Well, I don't think it's a crucian. And if it's a rare, it's another decent marker rare. I think we've only had one non-marker fish in, you know, over 2 hours sitting here this time. It is possible to see non-markers, but because you're using 16 boilies, so, you know, it can happen. And it looks like this is going to be a grass carp. That's another thing I've noticed in the past week or two. Grass carp, way more prevalent than they normally are at Amber. Maybe some of the baits that we've been using, but I think just in general they've been more active than they typically are. Okay, so now we just wrap it up. The sooner I wrap it up, the sooner we'll catch a nice fish. I mean, that's kind of how it happens. As soon as the video stops, nice fish comes in, right? I do think that 10 kilo common ghost carp came in, yeah, it's almost 24 hours ago. I remember it was right around that like 7:30 in the morning, which is typically when you feel like if you're going to see a trophy carp somewhere, that's like maybe your best chance, that time period. It can happen anytime, but Oh, was that a little jingle I heard? Yeah. Okay. Middle rod. So we'll see. If this one's rare, we'll keep it over there. Oh, we've got 2 more. Wow. Okay. The fish are waking up and we're getting some fortunate moments here. I think they're on both lines. Let's do this one first. This is a crucian, maybe. If this is a carp, we're in danger of catching our second non-marker. Okay, it is a crucian. Is it a kilo? Are we halfway to filling the 4? Nope. Not even big enough for the order. I've been here long enough that you do start worrying about okay, is that weird? It only made 15? Does that mean that some of the ground bait was used up in the false attempt? Alright, I'm really confused. You do start worrying about overfeeding, I guess, a little bit. I have not done any kind of extra feeding, though. The only thing I've done is the PVA bags. Because it's so slow, it just doesn't seem like extra feeding. I don't know. And that's always weird to me. We just put that line in, we're already getting a bite on it. For how slow this spot is, to get a nibble that quick just seems so bizarre. Okay, there's a linear. We don't see a ton of those. It's like half of the dry mix got ruined from the failed PVA batch. Oh man, just be a rare. It's just, you know, we want to catch at least one rare during our rare carp spot video, right? It's almost like it's false advertising if we don't. Well, we're about to see. Maybe. It's a decent little... It's got some strength to it. I hope it's not another grass carp. It's like light but strong. Makes me think grass carp, but we'll see. Oh, it's just a common. If it would keep up this bite rate while still getting rares, you'd feel a lot better about it. Alright, let's see if we can not fail this time. Oh, okay. I can tell you exactly what happened. Okay? I can tell you exactly what happened. It failed. We did lose the dry mix, but it auto-populated it with another dry mix that was named the same thing that I've been using to spot with. Not today, but last time I did this spot, I did some spotting. So that's exactly what happened, and that's why it made an odd amount, because I had used some of it up to spot with. Does that make sense? That's what happened. Okay. I knew it didn't work that way. I knew it used it up. I was like, am I losing my mind? Okay. That makes more sense, and I'm glad we figured that out before the video was over, because I would have felt kind of silly. Kind of silly. So I'm going to give you till 8 a.m. 45 minutes in game. If we see another fish, we see another fish. If not, just have to take my word for it. The most recent one being 25 minutes ago. Rare carp are coming out here. And by the way, it kind of seems like they come out in bunches. Like if you look at this bunch here, we had a red Starvis carp, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 fish here were rares. So like during this time frame, you're like, wow, this spot is crazy. And there's other spots too where they're coming together fairly close. And then you go on stretches, you know, where you've got 7, 8 fish in between the rares. It's kind of weird. Kind of strange. Whoa, coming in at the buzzer. 5 in-game minutes left. We have a last shot, a last chance at seeing a rare carp on video versus just hearing about them. I mean, we did get to see a trophy tench. It's not every day, right? Probably the most common trophies that are coming out here are crucians and tench. Uh-oh. Still a chance, but it's a little on the light side. You still want it to be a rare if possible, but it is, whatever it is, it's a little on the light side. Could be another tench. Yep. The tench are real. I don't know what to do. We're going to switch it back for a while. And I think it's been quite a while since this first rod has caught anything. Like maybe even to the fact that 16 hours the PVA might be gone. I don't know. Okay. So this is 85-147. Let me know if you've fished at this spot. Have you had similar results? Better, worse? If you've been checking out the other spots, peg 1 down here, 169. Let's see, what other spots? I think 132 maybe. There's been several spots where people have caught rares. 164.94 was not for rares, but just in general going off a couple days ago. So if you've had some good amber experience, let me know. Always like some good carp fishing, and to be honest, amber hasn't been as good as it can be in a few weeks now. We've had a little bit of a downturn on amber, except for this rare carp run. Except for the rare carp run. Okay, well, line 1 proved me wrong. Something at least got on there. And now we can switch this PVA over to the other one. And one last fish is another tench. That's the third tench. Suddenly the percentage of tench is way up. Way up suddenly. At least you've gotten to see exactly sort of the direction I'm casting and all that a little bit. All right, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Let me know how it's going for you. Tight lines, everybody. I will see you next time.